Okay, now Prince Simakade's quest to dethrone the current AmaZulu king, MisuZulu kaZwelithini, will continue tomorrow in the High Court in Pretoria. Simakade wants the court to declare President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa's recognition of his brother MisuZulu as king of AmaZulu unlawful. King MisuZulu was recognized by government last year. However, his brother now says the state should have waited for all the squabbles to be resolved first. eNCA senior reporter is in court today, and that there's been an adjournment, and he's up and about there. Siphamandla Goge joining us on day 2 of these proceedings, just to get a sense of what's been happening there. There is a live picture there of amabutho outside the courthouse. Siphamandla, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you tell us what happened in court and also what's happening outside there?
Well, it's just activities outside the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. A group of amabutho led by Prince Vanana of Kwaminyamanzi, who is one of abadidiyeli bamabutho here, together with Induna Siphamandla. They are leading amabutho in song. It's a very important song. A late is where the land is ours. Why is there a dispute? Well, one can draw some reference in a dispute that is going on in a court of law, whereby Prince Simakade wants to dethrone the reigning king, who is recognized by the president and the South African government, that is King MisuZulu kaZwelithini. Inside court today, arguments and submissions were mainly led by Advocate Cedric Pancrin, who is the senior counsel representing King MisuZulu, while also you had Advocate Morumo Mwerane, who is the senior counsel representing President Cyril Ramaphosa as respondent number 1, together with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, which is the third respondent in this regard on the matter of King MisuZulu kaZwelithini's recognition. The arguments really today were about the president's legal team arguing that his decision to recognize King MisuZulu was reasonable, rational, and in line with all the legal prescripts and requirements advised by members of AmaZulu royal family. So therefore, he defended his decision, saying he acted rationally and everything he did was above board. Let's just give you natural sound of what is being sung here. Late is when Umbango amabutho are singing that song. So tomorrow it will be day 3 and the last day of proceedings, whereby we expect the applicants, that is Princess Simakade together with Prince Mbonisi, who has joined an application by Princess Simakade, to respond to all the submissions and arguments that have been made by King MisuZulu kaZwelithini, together with the president as the first respondent and the Department of Copter. Take a listen to what the king's lawyer had to say about his submissions.
There is a statement in Prince Buthelezzi's affidavit, the one that was signed, which says Zulu kings are born, not elected. And that sums it up. But I was going to suggest to your lordship why there is this body of rules which determines patrilineal succession and upon whom the crown should devolve. And that is a lesson learned from Zulu history itself. If one reads with all the history back to King Shaka, and one reads, as I have again, Mr. Morris's book, The Washing of the Spears, one realizes that the battle for succession, for instance, between Pande's sons, Chatswayo, and I can't remember his brother, ended in the bloodiest battle in Zulu history. at the place of bones. So one can't have a number of heirs squabbling and horror upon horrors taking up arms and giving armies to support them in order to determine who shall be the next ruler. It must be predetermined. That person is born, and the process of identification is simply ritualistic and formalistic.
Interesting arguments there being made in court earlier today. Siphamandla, I mean, what else came out? We know they've adjourned until tomorrow now. What else came out earlier today?
Well, basically, you had both sides of the royal family, packing the court gallery, those who support King MisuZulu kaZwelithini, as well as Princess Simakade. But what also came out is that both sides are confident that they will emerge victorious. Earlier on, I spoke to Prince Africa Zulu, who speaks on behalf of King MisuZulu. This is what he had to say about the king's feelings as this case is underway.
Hayi kunjalo ke lokho esikufisayo nathi emva kwecala hayi ukuthi mhlambe kuyobhekana ngeziqu zamehlo cha into nje lena eyokwenzeka sihlangane sibuyisane siqhubeke siye phambili bheke khona ukuthi bona abamele kufanele basihlazulule ukuthi liyazivuna noma lisivuna ukulandela bona abameli kuphela.
Well, there we have it. Siphamandla, arguments being made in pro and against the application there. So now we are seeing AmaButho marching down the streets of Pretoria after leaving the courtroom, which is adjourned until tomorrow, singing that important song, as you said, Ngome, Ngelethu Izwe, Owanu Mbango. The land is ours. Why are we fighting? So what should we expect in court tomorrow as we wrap, Siphamandla?
Well, we can expect that both applicants, the main applicant being Prince Simakade and the second applicant being Prince Mbonisi, who is the late king's brother who joined Prince Simakade's application, they will respond to what the second respondent, that is King MisuZulu, and the first respondent, that is President Ramaphosa, would have argued today in court. They will have a right to respond, and it's going to be a wrap as Pretoria is on standstill, as AmaButho are marching up and down the streets of Pretoria in a precedent-setting case that will determine the issue of succession for the Zulu throne for years to come. So tomorrow it's about responding of the applicants. They will be responding, and we expect that judgment will be reserved because Judge Norman Davies will need time to go through all that has been submitted, and once he's done with all the arguments that have been made, then he can hand down his judgment. But definitely it's not going to be tomorrow. He will need time to go through the arguments and the submissions and draft his judgment, which he will later hand down as we are taking it back to you in studio here. Pretoria is on standstill with AmaButho chanting Ngelethu Izwe Owanu Mbango. I just want to ask my colleague Joe Komane just to show you the number of police and security personnel that have come out here to ensure that there is at least peace and stability and everyone is safe here, because you would recall that this case has got a potential to have tempers flaring up, and even inside court, that's what the judge said, saying he understands the magnitude of this case and therefore he does not take it lightly, but he will be persuaded by the submissions and arguments that are being made in a court of law, and as police direct the traffic and lead AmaButho on the streets of Pretoria.
The visuals there in the streets of Pretoria, around the High Court of Pretoria, where Prince Simakade is challenging the government's decision, the decision by President Matamela Ramaphosa last year to recognize his brother MisuZulu as the king of AmaZulu nation. We know that King MisuZulu kaZwelithini has already been coronated. So we'll have to wait and see how things will conclude tomorrow. We expect the judgment to be reserved, as Siphamandla has told us there, and amabutho there singing, who support one side of this argument, singing, "Elethu izwe, owanu umbango, the land is ours, why are we fighting?" Thank you very much. Siphamandla Goge, Mfokancome there on the ground in Pretoria.